Yeah, it's like what has been worse, the life or the imaginary life?
Yeah. Hard to say.
Well, it's only been October 5th is the last time that we did this. So the rust is there for
Okay.
us and open caller. So welcome to the show. He's Vishal, if you remember. I am
I
am
barely
I Vishal? Are
I
you?
barely remember what's going
Oh
on
wait,
here.
we have our names in the screen. So
Yes,
I
okay.
am Corey. He's Vishal. We're trying this again for today. And we are gonna go back to movie watching or reviewing, and it's reviewing this one, Weight Watchers 84.
It's not a good one.
Wonder
WW
Woman. Wonder Woman 84.
World War 84.
We're-
Which is exactly what it should have been called.
Yeah. Not to be confused with recent Civil Wars. But
Oh no, that's not.
let's not go there. We'll stick with this. Wonder Woman 1984 answers all the questions from Wonder Woman 1 through 1983.
Remember
Early thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to when we like pretty much every single time we talked about the DCEU. I think early on, at least, we both kind of agreed that Wonder Woman was the best of the bunch. Not that it was,
that was
good.
What, 3 years ago?
Oh, it was
2018?
18? 17? No,
So,
18.
yeah.
Yeah. But so, like, not that it was great or anything, but it was just that the other movies were so bad. And in comparison, Wonder Woman, like, seemed really great. But
because we were coming off of Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Was Wonder Woman was after Batman vs. Superman? No.
Yeah.
Was it? But that was her first appearance.
Yeah, she is in the one, and so then they went back to tell her tale.
Right. So, and then yeah, it was the best of that bunch. But we also talked about how, the more we watched it, the more it just got worse every time.
Yeah.
I feel like this one, Wonder Woman 84, is at that, like, the last time I watched the first Wonder Woman, the amount that I disliked it at that point is where I'm starting with Wonder Woman 84. Like, it was just too long. And what was it? It was 2.5-ish.
2 hours, 35 minutes.
Right.
Start to finish.
Like 2.5. And like, just
to even get to discuss it on just on the runtime.
Just like very little substance in the movie. So like, if the movie was an hour and a half and they cut out a lot of the kind of, not even fluff, like not even side stories or it's just all extra scenes, people walking, like unnecessary jokes and just bad decision making.
Before I even get into the movie, I want to say the biggest travesty of this film is that it is set in the 80s and there is one scene with 80s music.
Yeah.
If you could have saved this movie with a James Gunn type soundtrack, and I would have been okay.
At least it would have made it like watchable, not watchable, but at least it would have made the time seem to like pass a little bit better.
By contrast, like, this movie has not the opening, but the big opening action sequence at the beginning of the movie takes place in a mall during the 80s. Now, by contrast, the quick montage in season 3 of Stranger Things in a mall is like leaps and bounds.
Oh my god, so much
amazing because again, it has the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Not like, just big hair and bad outfits.
Yeah, like the soundtrack is what makes you feel like you're in the movie a little bit.
Yeah, like this is Hans Zimmer's score.
And yeah, like, but I mean, that could be said of pretty much every movie in the DC extended universe, right? It just seems like when it comes to storytelling with music, like obviously in the Marvel movies, like Guardians, all the way, just do it better than anyone else.
Yeah, and even Ragnarok, while it's not
exactly
80s type music, it's got like the synth in there, and
yeah, and they've built it up so like you know what's coming. Like even in Avengers, you know, you hear some certain themes and you're like, okay, I know what's coming up because I've heard it before. This was just like, I don't know, like I don't find it like I can't even remember other than the mall scene. I can't remember what music they played except for like Wonder Woman's little like intro theme music kind of thing. Like when she hops into a scene, they'll play it. Other than that, I really can't remember any sort of music that played.
That's kind of,
which is sad.
Yeah, it's like that was one of the big critiques with the first Iron Man was how forgettable the score was.
Except for like the opening scene.
Yeah, because it
was amazing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like one or two good songs make a movie memorable, but like a bunch of forgettable songs, like they don't do anything for the movie at all.
No. So yeah, we are. Oh no, the first one was 2017. Was the first flick.
Oh,
but we're off by summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically, this movie is she's in 1984. She's secretly Wonder Woman, and she's moving on from the first one. That's
it's what it is. It's this movie is just so bad. Like I cannot, like just that sentence right there. It's 1984, and she's Wonder Woman.
Secret. Well, don't forget, we also kicked this movie off with the Wonder Woman games
which also don't make sense. Why is she there?
Because I was thinking back too, like just in like thinking back to the movie, trying to piece. I don't recall, and maybe it's just my not paying attention, but I don't recall. Because in sometimes these movies where they go back, it's to learn something, right? When we kick off Batman Begins, right, we have him as a kid and the why do we fall like that, and the Bruce wakes up. Mm-hmm. I don't recall a life lesson coming from that beginning scene into the whole movie, except for that. Oh, there was a woman who won this, and then she was the greatest warrior, and now I have her stuff.
Right. So the lesson or the theme, I guess, of the movie is it's basically like you can't cheat your way through things, right? But the fact that they never said it like that or really set up anything like that is like, it just makes no sense. It's this whole movie is, instead of them, like they're just expositioning things, right? They're telling you, the audience, what the thing is, instead of kind of showing you. They're just telling you the plot instead of having the plot play out. And that's the thing. Like they could have done so many different things, and they could have just, it's she drags what's her name, young Wonder Woman, away from winning, and basically all she had to say was, you can't cheat your way through life. And that could have been a thing, like how it plays out for the rest of the movie, but she didn't. She said, I can't even remember what she said. It's
something like about like you took the short path or something.
Yeah, nothing. It's the only thing is truth and whatever. Which, okay, taking the short path, I'm like, that's resourcefulness on her part.
Yeah,
I think that was fine. How would they? And also, I didn't get all right. So if you haven't seen the movie, good, first of all. But what happens in the first kind of scene is there's a little, I don't know, it seems like a training exercise, but it's also like five or six full grown Amazons, and then this random like 6-year-old girl for no reason. Why couldn't they? If they had done that when she was a teenager, I think it still would have been. It would have been,
or
better.
even if it was like it was her, I guess,
mom,
100 years ago or however many years ago in our time, like just before she left, so she's still her.
Yeah, but it's like the difference is so stark because it's her as a 6-year-old or however old she is versus 5 or 6 of these like fully aged and trained Amazons.
Yeah, even for the life lesson too, that is something I think they should have had. If they had that scene, have that play into the first movie.
Yeah,
not play into the second movie. So she goes through life. She's been on her own since World War II, and now it's the 80s. So we're looking at like 40 years.
Yeah.
And that one thing that happened
way
60,
before
70, 80 years ago. Now I'm going to think about it. Yeah, apparently that's anything worthwhile must be obtained honestly.
Yeah.
Is the lesson there.
But like, I don't know, at the same time. So yeah, what happens is there's a horse race or a horse scene, and she falls off the horse. The horse keeps running, and she finds a slide somehow right where she is, and cuts through a bunch of things and then lands on the horse again, and then continues on and is about to win the Wonder Woman games there. But she gets pulled away from it all by the chief warrior princess, right, from the first movie.
Yeah, Robin Wright.
And she's like all crying and whining, like, "Why'd you do that? I could have won." And
how dare you?
Yeah, I have a question. And then she gets told, like, no, you cheated and you don't deserve to win. And what was the thing? Anything
worthwhile must be obtained honestly.
And then that's it. The scene ends there. And we get we get the statue of what's her name? Anastasia?
Yeah, something.
Anaphrenzia. And then it just goes into, it's 1984.
Yeah, people got big hair.
It never said what year the first scene was from, right? It just started.
Yeah, and it's
like we don't know that
people on the street. You almost get hit by cabs and.
Oh no! Sorry, I meant the Wonder Woman games.
Oh yeah, no Wonder Woman games.
Yeah, so exactly what you're saying is this is a lesson that finally comes up, potentially 200 years later.
Yeah, I don't
have no idea. But anyway, as you were saying early on, she's Wonder Woman in secret somehow for 45 years, 40 years, and she's kicking cabs out of the way. She's
pulling people who are falling over bridges and catching them with their lassos and
but still people don't even know who this, Spider-Man goes and saves someone. They don't know who Spider-Man is under the mask, but they know that there's a Spider-Man. They're not like, oh, there's Phil swinging again.
Yo, Phil.
But same with Superman and Batman and all those guys. People are aware of a Batman and of a Superman, whether they know who it is or not. But in this, it's it's making it out for 40 years, no one even knows that there's this magical woman.
Yeah, and if again, this is a problem you have when you take these characters, put them in the past, and then have other movies that are within the universe that started beforehand that established. You're not watching Man of Steel and hearing, wow, this guy's similar to all those incidences that happened back in the 80s. with these powers and stuff. It's just this is a Superman type person on the planet, and then they make these other movies that are coming after that, but set before, and there's no reference to it. At least if you go back to say like the Marvel, you have Cap happened in a failed project during World War II. Nothing happened until he's thawed out in what seemingly would be just before the first Avengers. And with Captain Marvel, which is also in the early 90s, it's because it's Shield, it's more like kept under wraps. There's, I think, a reference to something in Iron Man or Iron Man 2, which could be referenced to what the big final scene in Captain Marvel. But this is a global catastrophe that happens in the third act of this movie.
And yeah, it's
not mentioned in any of the other movies.
Yeah, not once is world like is this potential third world war mentioned because 84, I mean, even in the context of like Batman, like Bruce Wayne would have been born,
right
at that point. So like whether Batman was born or not, like Bruce Wayne would have remembered this situation or this event happening.
Oh yeah, they would have been teaching it in school.
Yeah, and so it's like how do we? I don't know. It's just and the amount of things that happen is what makes it terrible. That it's never discussed.
Yeah.
Also, it's such a bad way of God. This movie's so bad. I cannot. Sorry. It's unbelievable.
So we'll delve into the new characters, which leads to the plot. So we have Kristen Wiig's Barbara Ann, Minerva, playing the just stereotype nerdy loser villain that she can take her glasses off and she's gonna be the hot girl, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a different movie.
No, it's this one. Yep, hair up and glasses on to hair down and no glasses, and like that's really all the transformation.
I saw somebody on Twitter just like, can we cancel this cliche villain? It was a picture of her with the big glasses and the frizzy hair with Michelle Pfeiffer from Batman Returns. Same thing. Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3 and Jamie Foxx in
Spider-Man
2.
Yeah. But it's it's so true. It's like you know exactly what's going to unbelievably.
But the part, like, she's a new geologist, yes, but like to have the boss come in and say, "Do you know who this Barbara is?" And then no one knows who she is. She was clearly somebody who works there. I think we're back.
Okay, I was gone for a second there.
Yeah, I was just talking about Barbara's first scene where she shows up and then apparently nobody knows who the hell she is.
Yeah. Why does not everyone has to know who everyone is in the building, but I don't know.
It's just like the boss was like, "Do you know who this Barbara broad is?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's me. You hired me." Two for two.
We're back.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Are you?
Am I?
I don't know. Are you?
I'm back.
If you can hear me, I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. It's a sign.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know what's worse than this movie? This internet connection.
That's why you always got to be hardwired.
Yeah, I am.
Ugh.
I know.
Maybe you're over. It's that damn 5G.
Ah, the 5G.
So we have Diana and Barbara working, I guess, at a museum. I think it is.
Yeah.
And we got like crates full of mysterious or just ancient artifacts. And we get something that's later, I guess it's the Dream Stone. It's not an Infinity Stone. Got you again?
Yeah. Now I'm back.
I don't know.
Well, I am plugged in, but
all right. Well, we'll just see how the rest of this thing goes.
Yeah.
It'll all be edited in post.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So we get. Here's the part that was, I don't know for you, but to me, just very poorly written is when they find the Dream Stone and Diana makes some reference to Steve, and then a couple scenes later he's there.
Me, you, me, you, me, you, me, you. Me, you, me, you, me. Hello. Can you hear me?
There you go. Now I can hear.
Yeah, okay.
This thing's gonna be like 3 minutes. Welcome to Open Caller. Wonder Woman sucked. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
All right, Dreamstone.
Dreamstone.
Okay, so apparently Diana makes a wish for Steve to be alive.
But does she actually? This part I can't really remember because it seems like in the rest of the movie they have to say the word "I wish."
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I thought was confusing. Is she makes some passing reference to Steve while holding the thing, then like wind blows,
Of course,
and
yeah. Oh,
and then yeah, boom, he shows up, and then similar thing with when they find out that it's some sort of monkey's paw type thing, and then Barbara says, "Oh, I want to be like Diana," and then yeah, the glasses come off. She's
able to
can
walk
walk
in high heels.
and then yeah, her hair's all did.
And
Yeah.
then this is when they go out for lunch, right? Or before they go out for lunch. And
Yeah,
they're
and then
talking
she's like
about
attacked or something.
yeah, but like at lunch they're talking about how, it kind of seems like obviously she Barbara thinks that Wonder Woman Diana is very outgoing and confident, and that's what she wants, right? She wants to
Right.
be like her in terms of having the confidence and having the like getting the attention that she gets and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
um, Inadvertently, when she wishes to be like Diana, she also gets some of her powers, right? Just the speed and strength and all that kind of stuff,
And the ability to walk in heels.
and the ability to walk very confidently in heels, and also just the ability to put her hair down and take the glasses off and see things.
That's right. And wear
Um,
big sweaters with tight leather pants.
yeah, and but with that confidence, like you said, it's like a monkey's paw situation where you wish for something good, but it finds a way to turn it into something bad. Um, she doesn't just get confidence; she gets egotistical, I guess.
And
Not
aggression.
not really, but she gets kind of overconfident. Um, and then Diana's wish is not really a wish, but basically that she wishes she could see Steve again. And all of a sudden, at a party, like he's there.
Yeah,
Kind of.
another guy shows up, but then like they spin around and it's him. The camera spins around and now it looks like Chris Pine.
Oh, okay. So I can't remember what I was listening to. It was another review / filmcast or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were just talking about how like it's how easy could it have been for them to just bring Steve back, right? Just a
Versus doing it this
versus
way.
it, and basically from the way the movie plays it out to be is that Steve, it's this other guy, right? Let's say
Yeah.
Phil. So Steve has taken over Phil's body and his
Yes.
life, apparently.
Yes.
With like and Diana and everyone else has no regard for Phil.
No.
Right? They're like, okay, like how long is the movie? Like a week? From beginning to end, real world time?
I don't know
Like
because
that-
they
that
only
part-
show night like 3 times.
Yeah, like that's another thing is so let's say it's a week or 2 weeks or something.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of like cross Atlantic flights and stuff. So yeah, let's say 2 weeks.
Okay.
Once that guy gets his life back, or becomes himself again, they were like, "What does he remember? What happened in the last 2 weeks?" His friends don't
Yeah.
like ask him
where
where
the hell
he's
were
been
you?
for 2 weeks, or they're like, "Oh hey, yeah, we tried to call you, but you were never home," or does he come back and be like, "Where the hell are all my Pop-Tarts?"
Yeah, his months like 2-3 weeks behind on all his payments.
Exactly, like all this stuff they've like basically just like hijacked this person's life.
Yeah, what if he had a girlfriend? She showed up or something.
That's it.
Sees Diana in the house.
His family, his girlfriend, like anything.
His job.
Yeah, his job's not.
Phil, you haven't been here for 3 weeks. We let you go.
Yeah, like his life is completely in shambles at this point when he comes back. Like people have been sleeping in his bed, screwing around, eating all his food, not going to work.
Taking his fanny packs.
Yeah, like why wouldn't they just have
Steve come
back? And it was just so funny them like talking about that.
It's true. Like
I think one of their things was they needed a place for them to go back to.
I guess.
But then someone was like, they could have just come back to Diana's place. Like, who cares? They needed a place to have that like
montage of him trying out outfits.
Exactly. Basically, that's what it was. But like again, they could have done that at a mall too. But they already had a mall scene.
Like every 80 movie.
like they had so many chances to do the right thing. And they were like
such missed opportunities. Yeah. Because there's a point where they are at her apartment because that's where they find the freaking gold outfit, and he sees like the old pictures and stuff. Yeah, it all could have been done there.
But
damn.
But so they just hijacked this guy's life. She's super happy. We haven't even talked about Mandalorian himself.
Oh, Pedro. Din Djarin.
He is like oil investor.
Yeah.
Like
I said, dude, his whole plot point, like his whole storyline, should have been a movie on itself.
Yeah, but it's like, all right, so he's kind of like an investor, but it's like a pyramid scheme style.
Yeah,
like other people are investing in
oil rigs.
Oil.
Yeah. So he's buying up all these oil rigs in places, hoping to tap oil,
and
knowing damn, like, you got him so cheap because nobody ever found oil in all these spots. But he's just hoping if people keep sending him money for these rigs and investing, that it's better than oil. It's like found money for him.
Yeah, and like his whole thing is like not being a loser to his kid.
Yeah.
Which actually could have been fine. Like if that was his motivation throughout the entire movie, that would have been fine. But it wasn't. It was like his whole thing was, I want more.
I just think it's like he like knew about the Dreamstone, but nobody else knew about the Dreamstone. Like Diana's like 300 years old.
Yeah, how does she not?
And yet this guy somehow knew about it because as soon as he saw it, he knew all about it.
But like, wasn't that why he was at the museum? Was because he knew about it?
I was thinking that too, or if it was just that they like, because it wasn't like the boxes labeled to him or something like that. So I guess he had stuff sent there. He was just checking to see if they found whatever, and
maybe, yeah,
doing his TV sales pitch. Life's good, but it could be better.
Yeah, that was a nice line though. Life's good.
Meme. That's like memes everywhere now. I see that everywhere now when they show on Instagram and stuff.
That's true though.
But yeah, like I said, to me, his whole plot point with this Dreamstone, it's like a perfect Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, and again,
I would have watched that movie.
I would watch that 1 hour episode.
Yeah,
I do not want to watch a. Oh, hey, by the way,
you could get an hour and 40 out of it because you could have had like the same premise of it and have him, granting all the wishes, not knowing until like the third act that it's taking something from him the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, like his like undoing would end up being his son.
Yeah. But like,
it's essentially how it goes.
This movie is at a minimum 1 hour too long.
Oh, yeah. Like they could have foxed the shit of this movie into an hour and 44 minutes.
Easy. But no, they didn't. But yeah, so his wish is to become the stone.
Yes.
And
he's his own Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, in essence, he's like Jafar wanting to become the genie. And by doing that, so I did think that it was pretty clever how actually no, I thought it was clever, but so I didn't really understand the whole wishing thing. Like everyone just gets one, I guess, like Spider-Man.
Apparently, yeah.
But like why is that the rule? first of all.
Yeah, because a monkey's paws, right? You have like the fingers.
The fingers, exactly. All right, so in this case,
I guess it's like a Zoltar's type thing.
Okay. So, all right, so you get one.
Yeah.
So then when he becomes the stone, he's already used his wish, right? So he can't
right.
And again, it's similar to Genie being like, hey, you're drowning, but I need you to wish to be saved. I can't just save you.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that it was pretty clever that his way of getting things was by getting other people to wish.
Don't you wish that? Don't you?
Yeah. Don't you wish that there's no traffic? Like, yeah, I do. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna grant you that. So I thought that was a pretty clever way to do it, like just using other people's wishes to advance his story.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, like just the things that he was doing or wishing or getting other people to wish for were all weird. Like when he has an audience with the president and he's like, what would you wish for if, in terms of, or in the face of a nuclear war, what do you wish for?
I wish I had more bombs.
Yeah, I wish to get more bombs. And again, it's very similar to the Thanos thing where, instead of killing half the universe, why don't you double all the resources?
Yeah.
But in reverse, like, why wouldn't you just wish that nobody else had bombs? Or like, just instead of you having more nukes, just be like, oh, I wish Russia's nukes malfunctioned.
Yeah, or they didn't have them.
Or they didn't have them. And then that was another thing where it's like, having more is great, but when it comes to nukes, like one is all
none is better.
That's actually all you need. so like having more doesn't really help you out. So like them having less gives you more power than you having more.
Yeah, like,
but it's just like all those things are. It's like almost every wish that gets made, I was like, but why would they wish for that? Like, they wouldn't.
Yeah, like, oh, I wish you would get arrested. Well, I wish you would drop dead.
Yeah, like, wow. Who says that? Even in the 80s, who says that?
And then it happens, and you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, that just happened. And he just lingers. I'm like, if I said that and then someone dropped dead, like, I would be running. I would head.
Yeah, because they're like at a bar too. There's witnesses.
Yeah, there's people there. And then that part we'll get there. But
I also understand too, like when he like wishes, like that the guy with his like guy, his partner or whatever, like he has him wish that like all these oil wells, like the deal worked out. And
yeah.
Then, like, and to take for him, he says, well, you're gonna have a run in with like the SEC or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you just say like the wish be, don't you wish that we were all rich and then moved and then done?
That's it. But nope.
But no, he had to have all the oil, and then he had to have more oil, and then he had to have, and he had to have, and he had to have, and he had to have.
And then there's so then first he goes to Egypt to try and take what's his name's oil, right?
Yeah, this was at that time supposed to be like he's like
the oil king.
One, like he's like Cookie on the west side.
Yeah.
He's number one. He's number one oil in the U.S.
Yep.
So he has to go to the west, and the west side, and become number one over there with oil.
And there's a scene here that I'm also another thing with the wishing stone is you get what you want, but it comes with some sort of consequence, right? It takes away what you. It doesn't really say, like, they never really say what it takes away, right?
It's something.
It takes away something, but it's it always seems to be something very coincidental to the movie. So with Barbara, it takes away her like niceness, right?
Yeah,
like
her
her
humanity or
humanity,
whatever.
right?
Yeah.
Like she was helping that homeless guy. Now she doesn't care about him, and
Yeah.
she would beforehand never hurt a fly. Now she's like kicking this guy down the street, like all this stuff. So it takes away that. For Diana, it takes away her powers, but only sometimes and only when it needs to.
Convenient to the plot.
So like that's another thing where it's like if you're gonna go in on that, if the thing is that you wish for something and then it takes something from you and it's taking away her powers or her life force or whatever it is, like it can't just be when you need it to. I mean, it can. It is obviously in this movie, but it shouldn't be just when you need it to, because there's times where because she has like super fast healing, right? I guess.
Right.
But in a scene, she gets shot or grazed by a bullet, and it just takes longer than normal for it to heal.
Yes.
But eventually she does. And she's allowed to jump really far and be really fast, but when she needs to later on, she can't.
Yeah, like when she busts open the lock, right? It takes her like 4 attempts rather than what would
be. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like that part I hated because I was like, it's one or the other. You can't just do it when it suits the movie.
Either she has no powers or she has powers.
Yeah.
Have it slowly dwindle over.
Yeah, and have it be like, like, okay, at least have it like bandaged up later and be like, yeah, that's where I got shot earlier, and it's still there because I don't have my healing ability anymore, so I have to figure out a new way to do this.
Well, also not to jump ahead, but the scene where they find out more about the stone and it's revealed that to make a wish, like to get something, to get a little, you got to give a little. Yeah. I just do like at this point, okay, I don't think it's really been established to Barbara, who's also in the scene, who's helping them trying to find out about the stone, that she is Wonder Woman, and then have Steve out loud say, "Diana, your powers, you're gonna lose your powers."
Yeah.
with somebody else in the room, right, from that they went to, who has
they
this
don't
book
know
on it.
That she knows they know.
And even then, like, she's keeping it a secret, but no one really knows there is a Wonder Woman. But then to say, hey, you have powers that you're losing because of this mythical stone that has been discovered.
Yeah.
So people can put 2 and 2 together.
Well, I don't know. It's very similar. If they can't tell someone without their glasses on, I mean, that's whatever. But then what's his name? Pedro's thing that he's losing is
Max Lord.
Max Lord, that's right. Maxwell Lord. His thing that he's sacrificing is like his health. I get that's it. Right? He's bleeding a lot, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's like every time he gives a wish, like he gets a headache.
Yeah. Oh no.
Here, Max, take 2 of these.
Don't you wish I didn't have this headache anymore, though? Like, wouldn't that have been, don't you wish I was invincible? Like, get someone to wish for that for you. Why not? And yeah, so that's his thing, is that he is deteriorating from the inside.
Also, that would probably been a better plot point if it since it's kind of established that he's all about his kid. Like he's doing all this stuff for his kid, that maybe like he would lose his kid. That's what would have been the thing.
Well, that should have been the thing that ends. It kind of is the thing that ends him being such a dick, but it also isn't. Like you think that it would just all the kid wants is for his dad to be home or around.
Yeah. To him, the kid doesn't care if his dad is a loser or because it's his dad.
It's his dad, and he's his dad. That's it. But in doing all of this stuff, in getting all these riches and having all these people work for him, it just makes him less accessible to his kid.
Right.
And then it's I guess
dude,
it's
that's the movie. That's what.
Yeah, like that's actually a decent plot point that they could have attempted.
Yeah, it's
And
the pursuit
nope,
of happiness. That's what
that's
this movie is. It's the pursuit of happiness with Wonder Woman.
it. Yeah. No, that's what it could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. We should just watch that instead.
Yeah, I'd watch that. But no, so they did not go that route. And
No, they didn't.
what's that?
It says no, they didn't.
Um, but they just dragged on and on and on about like
Yeah,
they
Diana
had
brings up, oh,
two
this is like
games of
gods
that-
again.
What's that?
This is Diana brings up about gods again. So I thought, here we go. They're gonna have another god like they did in the first one.
Oh,
which
yeah.
they'll seek out,
Uh,
which I think would have made it more interesting. If
It
there was
would've-
like,
it would've
somebody
helped.
pulling the strings or something.
I would have helped with like some random explanation. Like that's kind of the thing with DCEU in general is that like, I mean, same with Marvel, I guess, right? You could always just, if anything happens, you can just be like, it's a comic book, or like,
Yeah, but
like a stone did it, like magic. It's
yeah,
it's if you're in a world of, if you're suspending your disbelief about one thing, then it's like, all right, well, you're living in a world, or you're watching a world where, someone can live to be 400 years old and not age a day. Like anything can happen.
Yeah, like I was saying to Ash when we were watching it, is that we're living in a world like this is built around the idea that there are alien beings that landed on Earth and on our Earth, and because of their alien DNA, by happenstance, that the radiation from our sun amplifies his natural biology, which gives him what we perceive as superpowers.
Right.
In reality, it's just his body adapting to our Earth, and it just amplifies his own natural abilities.
Like how if we were to go to Krypton, we would be even worse off than.
Yeah, like how we go on, and if we were like on the moon, a jump here is different than a jump on there. And I can get behind that because he is adapted to our planet, that a piece of his planet would deplete his powers and hurt him. I can get behind that. I get behind a billionaire that has so much money that he can create gadgets and suits and become a crime fighter.
And he's not just a billionaire; he's smart. So like he's
smart too. Yeah, he's a criminologist. And I can also get behind that there is some part of the Earth, group, or I guess an island of women that I guess have abilities for reasons. This is established that, Greek mythology wasn't mythology. Gods actually did exist, and she's the daughter of Zeus and I guess wherever Connie Nielsen played. I get behind that. But this is wishes.
Yeah. But this is wishes. That's right.
This is wishes. Like when you ground it to say, hey, this could be possible if we do X, Y, Z, but then you turn it too far. Like you try to dial up to 11, you broke the knob off, but not in a good way. This is wishes. This is a guy who wishes to be a stone to grant wishes. He's a genie. I would watch Aladdin instead.
Absolutely. 100% of the time, I would choose Aladdin over this movie.
And I was saying, have you watched the new Twilight Zone that Jordan Peele did?
No, not yet.
So they're in the first season. It's the second or third episode with Kumail. It's kind of the same sort of. He's a stand-up comedian, and he just wishes to hit it big. But then, what ends up happening is, he's told to put himself into his material. So he uses things from his life, and each time that he uses something from his life that gets a laugh, that ceases to exist. So you make fun of your girlfriend, your girlfriend's gone. You make fun of your dog's gone. You make fun of your parents. So, like I said, as he's getting more famous, he's losing. Similar to what happens with Max in here. Is like the more he wishes, the more he loses of himself, to the point where the only thing he has left is make fun of himself, which then he perishes. That's more interesting than this.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm like, I want to watch that episode.
It's the same idea, but this is just, again, you have Wonder Woman who really doesn't need to be in this movie.
Absolutely doesn't.
It's like when someone said, if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, if you take Indiana Jones out of the movie, the plot is the same.
It's just less Harrison Fordy. Like,
yeah. So if we get towards the third act, where it's established that the U.S. has the ability to take over the entire airwaves and control what we're all seeing because of some satellite.
That is also another, like, the thing.
Also, if that existed, given what's going on in the U.S. right now, my God.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh, jeez.
Fuck Twitter bans.
Yeah. But it's like, so yeah, it's established throughout the entire movie that you have to be touching the stone and you have to say, I wish.
Yeah.
For whatever. Except for Diana. She can just think it. So when...
I wish I didn't kill that fish.
So when Max Lord becomes the stone, he's always, like grasping someone's shoulder and it's like, don't you wish...
Shaking hands. And
shaking hands, all this stuff. It has
to touch them. He can be touched without being the toucher. The kid puts his hands on his leg.
Yeah.
So I guess clothes don't matter.
No, that's true. No, because there's a lot of times where he's just, touching someone's arm or something.
Though it wouldn't work through clothes.
Just saying.
You would think.
It's a weird. Everything's just the worst. But then they say there's like a throwaway line where the military guy's like, yeah, we can touch everyone in the world. But like,
touch him, you say?
Yeah, like, but not really, because if it's just waves that are touching things, like, we're giving off enough stuff to be, you don't have to actually physically be touching someone. But it's just, I hate when movies do that, where they put in a word like touch, and it's like, yes, you're becoming available to a lot of people. You're not touching them though. And
it's WandaVision.
Yeah, like they use that as a like stepping stone to get to a point where he's like, oh, I can, be here but grant everyone's wishes all at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is just so annoying, but whatever.
That being said, like, we do live in a world where we have televangelists who say, if you just touch the TV, that I can heal you.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, the entire world, it's a very small group of people that believe that.
And you notice that when they went worldwide for this, it was daylight everywhere.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yep. But the fact that, like, okay, so yes, there are people on TV that say, if you can touch the TV, I'll heal all your problems. Mm-hmm. What do you think the percentage of people are actually touching that TV? Like, really small. So then you have this random American guy, not the president, not a well-known person, comes on TV and says, wish for anything, I'll give it to you. How many people are going to, like, first of all, he's on every channel ever across the world, and everyone is watching at that time. There's nobody sleeping, no one's at work,
it's daytime everywhere.
It's daytime everywhere, but then
everyone should be working.
Why are you watching TV? Like, get to work.
It's 1 o'clock on a Thursday.
Yeah. And All right, so fine. Everyone gets their wish. Now, like some people are wishing big, right? And other
Yeah, like that
people,
one Rod's like, I wish I was famous.
yeah. And then,
Because she's like, and like to your point, like she did treat it as like, okay, whatever. I wish I was famous, and then people are like losing their mind at like she had to what the laundromat or something, and they're banging
yeah.
on the glass.
But it's also like those people that went crazy for her,
Yeah,
like they either didn't wish for something,
they were the few
or
that weren't watching TV.
yeah, I guess so. um, so then they didn't wish for anyone. So then or anything. So then they were like, "Oh shit, this girl's like super famous." Um, but then there's people that just maybe someone was just like, "Oh man, like I really wish I had a donut right now."
Boom.
Boom, you get a donut, cool.
It's a
And then you're like, man, I wasted my wish on this. Like that's bull. And then you have the murderers. Like I wish he would drop dead. Like that's a horrible thing, but okay. But my point was that basically just you know let's say everyone makes a wish and they all wish that they were rich. Um, like at that point we're all exactly where we are now. Like if everyone's rich, like nobody's rich,
yeah.
right? Um, and then if we all wish to be famous, like we can't, like if everyone is famous, then like no one's really that famous. And if everyone wishes for donuts, I don't know, donuts aren't that special anymore. Um, but it's when we have to give those wishes back, when the whole third act is about stopping Max Lord and everyone rescinding their wishes to for the greater good,
See,
to get everything back to normal.
before, yeah, so that happens, but just before that happens, well, I want to go 2 steps ahead of that.
Okay.
So we have the big first fight between Diana and which would then be Cheetah, though she's never called Cheetah in the movie, at the White House. Which again, to your thing of the whole her losing her powers, she gets grazed in the arm again.
It's always yeah.
But as we established, like she's able to just whip around her lasso of truth and not get hit and still kick ass. So did she even need powers?
Yeah.
She's
just very skilled with that lasso.
Yeah. So there's that part, and then Barbara doesn't want to give up her powers. She likes who she's becoming, which is what all these villains end up doing.
And
so
like to be fair, I 100% would be the exact same way.
Yeah.
If I suddenly gained, super strength and all this power and ability to do stuff, like hell, I'm not giving that back.
And then she teams up with Max because she doesn't want to rescind her wish, and she gets a second wish.
Yeah, that part I didn't get either. So
she says, "Yeah, I want to be like better than her, like an apex predator, basically Blonsky from Incredible Hulk."
Yeah,
like, I want what she got, but
but more,
but more. I want that in me. And then he becomes the Abomination, and she becomes a cat lady.
Yeah, which also like
to me kind of looked like David Bowie from Labyrinth. Just had the hair up, and it's like back.
Nice.
And then she's got a tail.
That whole like second wish, it just that part doesn't make sense at all. Unless it was like
doesn't count because he's the wish giver now, not the Rock. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's also the Rock or Stone.
It was able to happen. What was the? I wanted to go back a while ago. We already skipped past all this stuff, but like to go back to Steve being back in her life, and I thought the part where she's like showing him all the cool stuff at the Smithsonian
Yes.
was really neat, because it's like, yes, this person is now, it's 40 years into the future. He hasn't seen this stuff.
Yeah, which I said is, it's like they said, you know what, we should do what they didn't do with Captain America.
Yeah,
because all we got in Winter Soldier was him having that list of movies that he had to watch.
Yeah, and
but not
like,
seeing him like, hey, and the brief bit of him at the museum, seeing like the Howling Commandos, and,
yeah,
like, the group that he was part of. But that's about it.
That's about it. But yeah, so this one, they're like, it's like, oh yeah, we we have the ships that can go out into space, or potentially can, and we have planes that can do cross Atlantic flights, and all this stuff. And one of the things is, all right, so he's a really good pilot, but like 40 years in plane technology
It's a
is,
lot.
like, it's a lot. And he like jumps into this plane and immediately goes, whoa, there's a lot more buttons here. But somehow,
click.
like, yeah, 3 buttons in, he's like, yep, got it, let's go. What? Like, how?
Yeah, it's not like a car where you just put the key in and turn.
Yeah. And even now, I would say, like, if you were in the 70s, and then 40 years later, not even, let's say you're in the 80s, and then 40 years later it's now, and you hopped into a car and it's a push button start, you might not know. Like, you'd be like, where's the ignition? Why can't I put this key in? First of all, where is the key? Like, all this stuff. But no, he pushes 3 buttons. He knows what to do. And you have that little radar joke where it's like, oh no, they're going to be able to find us regardless.
And I didn't know there was a lot of jets, like fighter jets, that had 2 seats.
Yeah, that was
like she's not sitting behind him.
Yeah, like, it seemed like they took a passenger plane,
but they didn't.
They took a fighter jet. So I don't know. That's one thing. And then they do the whole like invisible plane thing, Wonder Woman's invisible plane, where she somehow gathers up the energy to make the plane invisible.
Yeah. Which apparently is a power that they have that she was learning to do.
Yeah, but it's only worked once, and
with a coffee cup.
Now she can do it with the plane, and then never uses it again. But okay.
I did like to point out, one person I saw on Twitter was pointing out that it's just 2 screens. It said Wonder Woman 84, and it shows her flying, and then it said Batman vs Superman, shows her taking a plane.
Yeah.
So she has the ability to fly, but she doesn't use it.
Yeah. And then flying through fireworks seems like a terrible idea. You're invisible. You're not like able to phase shift and just have fireworks go through you. Like, that's just a dangerous. Like, why would you put you're trying to fly away from people? Just get the hell out of Dodge. Like,
no, why are you flying into danger?
Yeah, why are you flying into more danger? And then another thing that the whichever other podcast I was listening to, the review I was listening to before, was like, okay, Wonder Woman has now been Wonder Woman or whatever on Earth for 40 years now or so.
Yeah.
Hasn't aged a day. She's been working, I assume, at a bunch of different places, and has gathered a lot of artifacts and stuff. Like, she should have resources.
Yes.
She should be, living large, have stores of like money put aside, have her own jet or people that she can talk to. Like, she would have amassed like people, right? She would have had, I don't know, just so, you always have a guy, right? Like, yeah. I'm sure that she could have had a plain guy that she's like, hey, I I need this. I need to get to Egypt. I got to get there tonight.
Yeah, well, it's like in like the Dark Knight when they want to go when Bruce wants to go to Hong Kong and get Lau, right? And you get Alfred says, "Okay, just got off the horn with this guy. He says he'll do it, and he doesn't mind being paid in cash."
Yeah, like she should have those kinds of resources.
No,
but
we're gonna steal a plane from the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Because this is the one that Steve will be able to fly, possibly, maybe.
Maybe, exactly.
Yeah. It's well after he died.
And it's his first day back, but yeah, we should probably be able to.
And it's so fine, because if the cops go after him, he looks like somebody else.
Yeah. That's true.
That guy he's got a warrant for his arrest now.
Yeah, he wakes up. The police are like pounding on his door. But then they get to Egypt, and like they land, and everyone, the airport or wherever they land has like no word of them coming.
Yeah. You do not have clearance to land.
Yeah, or like, okay, it's this invisible plane. They like land somewhere. And
it's a desert, so if they don't land on an airstrip, how the hell are they going to get out of there?
Yeah, people are going to notice them leaving. Like,
which too, like when they go back to meet Barbara at this guy's shop, took no time. It's like, yeah, we'll be there in the morning.
Yeah. How do they find? Like, did they just steal another plane? Or, like, none of that gets explained, which is always like they didn't even show them landing. It was like they flew the plane, and then now they're in Egypt, like hailing
she's
a
in
cab.
She's in it, and then she's just randomly in her Wonder Woman garb.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that was another thing that I was like, "What? How does he know how to fly this thing? Like, there's absolutely no way. Like, cars are similar from 30 years ago, but like, there's a bit of a learning curve that you need to get to. Planes, much worse."
So then we also have her rescinding her wish, which then gets rid of Steve.
Yeah,
which was all done like off screen, right? She says whatever, he says whatever, and she just walks off. And then now she can run fast.
Yes, and that part I didn't mind, right? Because after she they had their little thing about like, I have to go, and she's like, I don't want you to die or whatever, and he's like, I've already died. Like, this isn't me. I'm like hijacking this person's body, so it's fine. We're actually giving this person's life back, which is a good thing.
We're being the good people here.
And I like the fact that as she's leaving and as she's given her wish back or whatever, you see her starting to heal.
It's a very Forrest Gump leg braces breaking off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much just ting ting, and he's just able to run fast.
It's the consequences that don't make sense, right? Like, all right, now this guy's back, but he has no idea what happened. Like, he's just standing out on the street somewhere. He's like, wait, what's going on? Like, there's mass destruction everywhere, and there's like nukes coming my way. Like,
we're in Washington D.C. There's chaos going on.
Yeah, and then the whole thing is like everybody has to rescind their wish.
Yeah, that's what I was going back to.
But what we were talking about before, like, not everyone's wish is on the same level as everyone else's, right? Like,
it's just to deplete his power, right?
Yeah, like if someone, that person that was like, I wish you were dead, like, yes, that person would take their wish back for sure. Like, I don't want to kill somebody.
And are we really gonna think that at this point, say 6 billion people who made wishes or every single one of them is gonna be like, "Yep, I'll rescind." There's one guy going, "Nope."
Absolutely.
I got my 40-inch tube television here.
I'm good.
My Panasonic.
And but yeah, like little things, like especially,
I wish I was debt free. No,
yeah,
I don't have
I'm
debt.
not gonna give that back. Are you serious? Yeah. Like, I wish I was famous. I wish I was rich. Like, all those people, they would not give it back. Everyone in power saying like, "Oh, I want more nukes or I want more power or whatever." If they're already wishing for more power, they're not going to give that power back.
No, and
They're
we're
already
living that now.
And like children,
Yeah.
like some 10-year-old's gonna be like, "Oh,
I got an NES system here. I'm not giving
I
that
am
up.
absolutely not giving this NES system back."
I have Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Yeah, are you serious? You want
on
me to
the
give
same
back?
cartridge?
No, thank you. So stuff
And
like
two
that.
controllers.
Yeah, like everyone, there's going to be people that will definitely rescind their wish because something bad came out of it. But like, what bad came out of, someone being like, "Man, I'm really thirsty. I wish I had a bottle of water right now." Also, they drank it, so what do they have to give back? Like,
They got to pee it into the bottle.
yeah, like what? um, that's where this whole I guess it's very similar to, is it in Bruce Almighty or Evan Almighty, where it's like, you know, all they're hearing is wishes, so he just says yes to everyone, and it causes
Yeah, it's Bruce Almighty.
Bruce
It's the
Almighty, right?
prayers. Yeah.
And it causes mass chaos because
Yeah, he's got the
some
prayers
people's
come to his
wishes,
emails. Yeah.
like, conflict with someone else's wishes, right? Like, if I was like, I wish I had all the money in the world, and if you were like, I wish I had all the money in the world, like, both of us can't have all the money in the world, so you can't just say yes to both wishes.
Even that, if you ask for all the money in the world, which means nobody else would have money,
Yeah,
that's its own problem.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, okay, but then the money is useless because at that point, like, they're trading with pieces of string. Or
some places do not accept pieces of string.
That's right. I wonder, it would be really, really shitty, but like, I wonder if it was, if I wished I had all the money in the world, and then I got it, and then like 3 minutes later you wished for it. Well, like, I got my wish, but then now you would get yours, so now I would have no money. You
had a hell of a ride, though.
Yeah, it would be like the last person that wished for it, the one that got all the money. So then you're like, oh, should I wait? Should I just wish for it now?
It's like the standoff in The Office, right? When they're all just
yeah. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. But yeah, so stuff like that where it's like, yeah, the people that over wished for stuff are definitely not giving it back.
No.
And the people who are going to give it back probably didn't wish for anything substantial in the first place. They just wished for things like, oh, I wish there was no traffic on my way to work. Or
which again, how do you rescind that?
Yeah, like
he already got him from A to B.
Yeah, too bad. Like, it's gonna be traffic's gonna be hell on the way home. That's it. Like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know.
I feel like they were trying to go for the moment in the third act of The Dark Knight where it was, you blow up this boat or they're going to blow you up.
Yeah.
And it just fell flat for me.
It was just so bad. But like, yeah, but the fact is that in Dark Knight, they built up to that point where you're like, yes, I could see someone like the Joker, like, giving them this kind of option where it's like, he's not the one doing the killing. He's basically saying it's up to you, whatever you guys decide. And like, it makes sense in that movie.
Oh yeah, because the whole point there, he's building upon people's fear of chaos and anarchy. This is, I'm giving you what you want. Yeah. Whatever it is, you can have it.
But like,
and then to have like Diana give her speech of, you know what, maybe you shouldn't have this stuff. You should give it up because it's for the greater good and
it's not earned. And then, right? Again, so this is where the lesson at the beginning of what was it again? I already forgot it. Honesty, nothing worth having
is like, yeah.
You have something. Be honest. It's not worth having. Yeah, like, I know you have it.
Nothing you have. Not anything worthwhile must be obtained honestly.
Okay, yeah. So that's where
it's not worth having if it's not earned.
Yeah. So like, that's where it kind of makes sense, right? Like, this is where it that line is supposed to come into. Where
So if you want to kill that woman, you got to do it yourself.
Do it yourself. Don't just wish for it. Stop taking the easy way out. Pick up that knife and go for it.
And just bludgeon.
Yeah,
Be a man.
That's it. Yes, I know it's a butter knife. You just got to work harder. That's it. Be a man. Do the right
man up.
Yeah. But that's again where this movie falls flat for the 40th time, is that should have been the scene that kind of brings the movie back full circle.
I think if they didn't make it so they had to, everybody had to relinquish their wish in order for him to lose his power, because at the end of the day, if he's not the stone, would that not just
it's really just him that has to rescind the wish, or to stop being the stone?
Because even them all rescinding the wishes doesn't change anything. But for him, he gets that shot of his kid calling for him amongst the chaos. That's to me, it seems all they had to do.
Yeah, they didn't need everyone else.
But my other point is, this has the part that always happens in the third act that drives people nuts. So when she tries to lasso him because of whatever energy of the wishes, it just blows back, right?
Yeah.
But then as she's giving this speech and stuff, and he's like, "It's not going to work." Then he's like, "I'm not talking to you," and the camera pans and it shows that she was somehow able to lasso him without anybody seeing. It's not to keep going back to Batman, but in The Dark Knight Rises, where Catwoman just shows up out of nowhere and blasts Bane, but nobody heard the bat cycle, or the bat pod. Just you didn't hear a roaring engine come up before you shot that.
Yeah,
so no one saw or heard the lasso, or he didn't feel it wrapped around his ankle the whole time.
Exactly.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to them on TV.
Yeah, and also it's all right. So you have this one person that nobody knows coming up on TV being like, "Listen, guys, whatever you wish for, I'm gonna give it to you. So go ahead, you do you." And then 10 minutes later, you have this other girl who comes on, who again nobody knows.
Hi guys, I'm Diana.
Hey, it's me. Listen. I'm gonna need you to give those wishes back.
I know it sounds good.
Really sorry.
Things are going well for you now in the last 12
minutes.
Just look outside. Look at the chaos.
Again, and at that point, why doesn't the one person that hasn't made their wish yet just be like, "I wish all this would stop"?
Yeah. She rescinded her wish. Why does she just wish?
Yeah, why she doesn't get another one?
Yeah. Hey, Cheetah got 2.
Yeah, that's right. Also, why didn't they just make Steve wish for all this to stop? This guy never got a wish.
Yeah.
Just so many ways that this could have happened. Where, what's his name there? Max Lord didn't know that Steve was her love interest or whatever. He could have just been using, been like, "Oh, hey, I'll help you make a wish," and be like, "Ah, sucker, I wish you would stop." That's it. The movie's over.
And does he get arrested? Get ready for Wonder Woman 85. Does he get arrested after any of this, Max Lord?
No, of course not. He's, it's because
don't forget, he got no one can go after him. He can never be arrested. It's tax free, all that stuff. But the president rescinded his wish.
I'd have to go back. Exactly.
So would he not now go to jail? So the kid again does not get his father.
Yeah. And
he's going to lose that pool that was being put in.
And then again, this goes, if it's go back to the before times where all the wishes hadn't happened. Okay. But, it's like in Endgame, or I guess in Infinity War, okay, half the people died, but if you died because of, the plane, right? If the pilot disappeared, and then the plane crashed and you died, those people don't get to come back, right? And so what if that person that was I wish you would drop.
So I guess it goes back to an Endgame when Hulk wishes everybody back. Because that's what he says. Everybody comes back.
Yeah.
Now, I guess it all has to be in his head when he means that. He's mean that everybody came back from the snap, or everybody came back in those 5 years. Because what if somebody died within those 5 years of just natural causes?
Exactly.
Does that person now come back too?
No, I don't think so. Because they Iron Man specifically says, like, or Tony specifically
don't
says,
change now.
Yeah, just bring back everyone we lost
to now. Yeah, to now.
Yeah.
So in theory, in Hulk's mind, he could have interpreted that as from 2019 to 2023. Everybody who's gone, it comes back.
Yeah.
In theory.
Because
what if, like, Hulk went to the bank one day and his favorite teller found out that she, got hit by a bus, and it's like, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Now he can bring her back.
It's true. I'm pretty sure that it's just from the snap, though. Now, the other thing is, like, because we asked all these questions in Endgame also, is like 5 years is a really long time. Like, maybe you lose someone in the snap, a husband or a wife, and in 5 years you've gone to support groups and all this stuff, and you've
moved on.
You've met someone and moved on, or you've moved. It's happened in Spider-Man, where someone came back. Aunt May had moved, and someone came back that it was their house 5 years ago. So like all those things.
Yeah, your younger brother's now your older brother.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So like, obviously those situations are like, they're funny situations, but what about the, like, all right, so
hey, go back to your plane. What if you were on a plane? Now that plane's no longer in the air.
Yeah.
Do you come back to where
on
you
the plane and you now you're just dropping?
Yeah.
And then so in this movie, it's like, okay, so that one guy was like, I wish he would drop dead. But what if someone else was like, I wish I had a gun so I could kill this person? Or something, or like, I wish so-and-so would get hit by a car. Right? Now that person gets hit by a car, but like, you saying, oh, I hope he doesn't get hit by a car anymore, doesn't matter. Like, that person's dead.
Yeah.
So like, how does that reverse wishing happen? Like, come into play, right? It's easy to be like, oh, I wish I had a Nintendo, and then be like, okay, greater good. I guess I can hold off and not have the Nintendo anymore.
I want that bitch dead. She's not back.
Like, I'm not giving that back. Did you see the way she talked to me? So yeah, like, I don't know. It's always like that though, right? With things that suddenly happen and then have to reverse course. They can't go back with, like, the consequences have already happened. But yeah, it's just weird having everyone unwish their thing. Like, just is never gonna happen.
Well, what do you do too? Like, that's not to like keep talking about this couple that hate each other. But he says, I wish you were dead, and then she died, and then she comes back. How do they go on together?
Yeah, clearly they're like,
oh, sorry, didn't think it was gonna happen.
It's just
like, he cut me off. I meant to say, I wish you dyed your hair.
Yeah.
I think you'd be better blonde.
Yeah. I wish you were dead. Funny. I need to laugh right now.
Tired of all this gosh darn work.
Yeah.
In this restaurant.
But yeah. And then
like, because Cheetah 2 times, 2 wishes.
2 wishes.
Not giving them up. And then
the Cheetah.
She it ain't easy being cheesy.
No.
Then she gives it up.
Does she though?
Yeah, I think
I thought she got electrocuted.
Which you can get zapped like 10 different times. It doesn't kill her.
It's true, but she's in water, and I guess at that point she's got 9 lives again, and whatever. But
well, everyone has to give it up in order for the movie to end. So she, in theory, gave it up.
Yeah, I guess.
But But
and then
the
that's
end,
another thing too is like, so Wonder Woman goes back to get that armor of
my favorite, when shit's going bad, everyone has to pause to go do a costume change.
yeah. So she gets this armor that comes with wings, and she can, she learns how to fly and rope her way on lightning and all this stuff.
Which, how do you grab lightning?
Yeah, it's not lingering. Like it's not like a like monkey bars where they're just like there until you don't need them. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that's just there until you don't need them. So I guess it plays well. But it's like she gets that outfit, which is supposed to be really good, right? Like really strong outfit.
Yeah.
It's made to
It's
beat.
gold.
Yeah, it's gold. It's made to beat everyone. She
Yeah.
flies in with the armor, and then like within one scene, she drops the wings because Cheetah has like scratched through them, and she's like, "All right, well, these are done."
Yeah,
How
it's like a scratching
powerful?
post.
Yeah, like how powerful? Like how indestructible was that? It was just like it was there. She didn't really use them for anything. She just used them as protection for a second, and then was like, "All right, well, I'm dropping these."
Yeah, bringing that up when they talk about like the greatest warrior that like took on Sparta from what the like flashback scene, it's like, isn't it like implied that she like failed? Like she protected them, but she didn't make it.
Yeah,
But they are able to get the armor from her.
Oh, I think that was. I think they said that where like in the 40 years or whatever that
They like reconstructed.
yeah,
it
she's been hunting it down, and
that's
that's
right.
It's all just like.
But again, if she failed, but protected them, but also didn't make it.
Yeah, it was kind of like maybe it was a like a 300 situation where Leonidas failed, but gave them enough time for the rest of the warrior army to come and
mobilize and attack. Yeah, I guess.
So maybe it could be that, but again, it's another thing that's just unexplained. So
who just knows? Anything to give a new suit and sell more toys.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's it, eh? Like that's the whole crappy movie, and we did it in a lot less time than the movie actually took.
Yeah. And then there's a scene at the end when she runs into
the guy.
Steve. The guy, yeah.
I was pretty happy with the way they did that scene where, she just makes a joke about how she likes his outfit, and it doesn't end with him being like, "Oh, can I have your number?" He just says, "Yeah, thanks," and they just leave.
Awkward silence, and then, well, see you around.
Yeah, that's my exit. But I liked how they didn't, set up that, oh yeah, these two are now going to be together or whatever. So that was one good thing in the movie. And then we get a small post-credit scene with original Wonder Woman from the TV show, being the actual warrior.
Yeah.
What? And I don't know. I can't remember her name. But I don't know. I guess that was cool. I never watched the Wonder Woman show, so at first I was like, I have no idea who this is. And then it said, guest star Linda Carter or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to look this up, but I'm going to assume I know what the answer is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I guess that's cool. She looks good for being like 90 or however old she is.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that's the movie.
And there's going to be at least one more, they said now. Okay, so we talked about the movie. Let's quickly talk about this whole release of it.
Yeah, okay.
So this is the first of what is supposed to be many, but due to litigation, it probably won't be.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So this movie came out in theaters Christmas Day, wherever theaters were open, but also through HBO Max to subscribers.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that, I get that aspect of it. Disney's been doing it with some of their Pixar flicks, right? Releasing them on for subscribers. And like Onward was still in theaters at the time when they did that. Soul, they just dumped it. Mulan, they premium VOD'd it.
Yeah.
On there, and then premium VOD. I get it, but I also don't get it. Like it's smart business in a sense, but also way to piss off everybody that worked on those projects.
Absolutely. I think it makes a little bit more sense in the States because there was like 0 theaters that were open in the States. So because when was it? It was supposed to release in
the summer,
June, right? Something like that. So they delayed it 6 months or whatever. And the way that, the state, us too. So the way that North America was going with this, it wasn't coming out in theaters, for at least another 6 months, if not more. So I get the fact that they were like, all right, we're releasing it on HBO because it's a US exclusive streaming service. And since they can't go to theaters, that's fine. It's released in theaters worldwide, where they can go to theaters, and in the States where they can't, you got to go to HBO Max to get it.
Right.
The annoying thing is that it wasn't a one-time purchase, right? Like it's not like you had to sign up for HBO Max. So like you were saying, all the people that were working on the project, working on the movie, like we talked about before, but like some of the bonuses and some of the payouts and accolades and all that kind of stuff that come with it are based on numbers,
box
office numbers, and obviously it's going to be much lower than that if people just subscribe, but there's also no real way of knowing who subscribed just to watch Wonder Woman, and if they only kept it for a month, if they kept it for 3 months after that, if they signed up for a year or whatever. Like, how does that money get split up? Is it just going to be, all right, new subscribers from December 25th up until January 25th, a month or whatever? But what about the people that, signed up on the 24th so that they could catch it at midnight or 3 a.m. or whatever? So it's like that breakdown of how the money gets paid out is like totally lost.
I heard a rumor that because everyone was losing their mind in the negative about this, and then you had Gal and Patty Jenkins going out talking about how great it was, that according to the rumor, the understanding was that they got their back end to go out and talk about how good this was.
Yeah, but they got it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah. And that led to more folks speaking out negatively, obviously to, get their some back. Because last I heard, Legendary was going to start litigation over Kong versus Godzilla and Dune. And from what I read today, it sounds like there's an agreement being made to release Kong versus Godzilla as this, but not on Dune yet.
I hope so. Dune's the one I want to watch.
Oh yeah. You just need to show like the third act for Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But there's a lot of like actors like Margot Robbie who's got, production companies set up there, and a bunch of other folks like Will Smith and guys who go to Warner Brothers to make a lot of flicks that are thinking of just going somewhere else because of this.
Yeah.
So I will be surprised if all of these, like their whole 2021 slate, actually comes out that way.
As a HBO exclusive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2021 is set that way. I think I saw an article that said uh, they're banking on 2023 like release, like movie theater releases,
Yeah.
and so it's probably 2021 all HBO Max. Halfway through 2022 or something. Hopefully, uh, people are vaccinated or things are at levels that theaters can open up again. The thing is, once people get used to something, especially when it's um, as convenient as a streaming service,
Mm-hmm.
are they going to go back to theaters? Like, is this just a full time shift in how we like get movies?
I think what you're gonna have is a situation where it's split. I think you'll have the genre, like your dramas, your romantic comedies, your I would say
Comedies.
even comedies,
Yeah.
your independent flicks, and even probably to an extent your animated movies being dropped on this. But you're gonna have your Marvels, your Star Wars, your DC movies. Those will be the ones
Mission
you're gonna want to watch.
Impossible, the action ones, the ones that
Yeah, the ones that
it's nice
are
to have
shot in
that sound.
IMAX that
Yeah,
you're gonna want to have fully immersed surround. Or, which I've been hearing which is why we had some decent box office numbers when Wonder Woman opened, is that you're gonna have people renting out theaters for families. So you
yeah,
want to go see a movie in theater, you'll just rent the theater for and have, I guess,
30 people or
30 people that are in your that you think
bubble.
you can trust that are not going to kill you when you go see it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, like that's fine. That's I've spoken before about the thing that I miss the most, over the last year or so has been going going to the theater to see a movie. It's an experience I really like. It's, you know, terrible popcorn, but I love it. All of that, the big sound, the big screen, the comfy chairs, all that stuff is that sort of experience. I really like it. On the other hand,
It's fucking expensive.
paying $20 to just see the movie. Like if you get it in IMAX, if you do an IMAX or IMAX 3D or whatever, it's like, in Ottawa, it's close to $20 for a ticket, um, which is, a month and a half or 2 months of whichever streaming service you're choosing
Yeah, and I was
to.
just gonna say because I find it really disappointing when you hear like, oh, average theater ticket cost went up. It's now $8.35. And I'm like, where?
Yeah, I know. Like
It's not up here.
yeah, like drive-ins aren't that much. Like it's like I don't know. It's 8:35. That's unbelievable. I'd go to movies every week. But
Remember
that's
they had Movie Pass?
yes, that went down really hard. But
I bet you that would work now.
even now,
No, I think it would.
Yeah, I guess so. But just people wouldn't sign up for it because it's like one movie a month for $25.
I think it's a model you could probably work just to drive people to go.
Yeah.
And then eventually you start throwing the restrictions back on it.
The thing with the streaming service is streaming services is that a lot of people now are getting bigger TVs because they're getting less expensive. So there's lots of people that at home have 55, 65, 75, 85 inch TVs. Every TV is 4K now. Every TV has HDR and Ultra HDR and all that.
Mm-hmm.
All the letters that I have no idea what they mean. And I would say that I am, if this was going to be our future, where theaters just kind of don't make it, I don't think I would mind investing in a bigger TV and a little bit better of a sound system, and all the money that I would have been spending at the theater for the next 3 or 4 years would just be put towards a new TV and like a Sonos system or something like that.
Yeah, pay for itself.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people will end up doing is, well, if I'm going to be at home, I still want to make the most of some experiences, right? Like having an amazing sound system isn't going to do anything for a romantic comedy or like a drama, stuff like that you were saying. It's really going to earn its keep during action movies, potentially like sports, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, those were the movies that we wanted to go see in theaters anyway, because going to see like a comedy is just as funny in 1080p as it is in IMAX.
Yeah, there is a thing to be said to watch a comedy with a room full of people.
Yes.
Like absolutely. I remember seeing preview night Waterboy at the Coliseum and on Carling, packed, and just like a couple hundred people just killing themselves laughing.
Yeah, like to the point where you miss jokes because everyone's laughing. Yeah.
It's absolutely. Almost like Transformers with I Am Optimus Prime. Woo! Like, what did he say his name?
I missed
Shut up. And then see it again, and then miss it again.
Because other people are like, woo!
Yeah. So then I only got to hear it when I was at home.
Yeah.
Watching it on Blu-ray, and then I couldn't hear it because I was doing it.
Exactly. The kids are like, Dad, shut up. I didn't hear it. But at least you get to rewind.
It's part of it.
But yeah, that's true. For certain things, it's not just the experience of the theater; it's the experience of seeing it with people and having being able to join in on reactions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like it would be nice to have that again, but I think it'll be closer to time. Yeah, it's a long way away for theaters. And I think that once people get used to watching new releases, maybe not the first day, but within the first couple of weeks, because it is on the streaming service of their choice, they're not going to want to go back to that theater model anymore.
Back to Wonder Woman, as we wrap this up, like it is Christmas Day on HBO Max and in theaters, and I think for like us in Canada, there's like a 30-day window before it arrives on Crave, which is what has the HBO.
But you have to have like the Crave Plus or whatever.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah,
it's similar to Mulan, right? Mulan was exclusive to Disney Plus until closer to December. Then it dropped on VOD and then went to regular subscribers after premium.
Yeah. Which honestly, I thought that was fine. The price tag was high because I think for us it was at $30 or $25, something like that.
Yeah, I think the argument is I'm already paying $25. Why am I paying $30 to watch this on the same service?
Yeah, well, no, you're paying like $8 a month or whatever.
Oh, I was just sorry. I was saying this. I think that was the American numbers. The $5.99.
Yeah, but at the same time, going to see Mulan in theaters, for two people,
you could have died.
Yeah, for two people, it would cost more than $25. And
that's why you look at they're losing money on that, right? Because you can have take your kids to see Trolls, right, for $15 per ticket, and then at home you're paying $20, and you can have 7 people watching.
Exactly. And so, while people were like, well, that's insane, I'm not going to pay $30 to watch one movie. It's also the fact that on Disney, it wasn't just a rental. It wasn't like pay $30 and you get to have it for the next 2 days.
You pay $30 and you can have it as long as you pay monthly.
Yeah, you have access to it. So like you can watch it, and then a day later, someone else on your Disney Plus can watch it, and it doesn't matter. So like at that point, it does end up being something that it's like kind of more worthwhile than going to the theater, if you don't mind watching it at home. But the thing is, if again, it's going to be one of those things where when people get too used to certain things, companies will take advantage of it, right? So then it's going to be like, all right, so which movies, is it just every new piece of content is going to be behind this paywall, and then everyone else has to wait 3 months? So like, you sent me that thing where Family Guy and all that other stuff was coming to Disney Plus Star, right?
Yeah, the Star tab, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I assume that's going to be an additional cost, right? It'll be an extra $3 or $4 a month or something like that.
I heard conflicting things. I heard that it's being added in addition to their costs going up. Like they're going to increase their cost by, let's say, $2. And in addition to that, they're adding this, but you can not, like, you're going to pay more. You can have it on there or you don't.
Yeah. Because either way, you're paying $2 more a month, whether you have it or not.
You can keep it that tab off so the kids don't stumble across it, or you can add the 18 plus stuff.
Right.
It's odd calling it adult content because it's basically anything that's above PG-13.
Yeah. It's not just
like Family Guy R-rated. Is not,
it's not R-rated.
Sure. Yeah.
There's some R-rated stuff, but it's not just R-rated stuff.
It's the good stuff. It's Deadpool, it's Die Hard.
Yeah. And so the thing is, for something like that, or not something like that, but when they add new content, so when they finally get the licensing back from whichever movie, like, is it always going to be that the new movie it's going to cost you $30, and if you don't want to pay that, you just have to wait 3 months, and that's going to be the new normal? Or is it only going to be for their blockbusters? Like, when Black Widow comes out, that's not going to be, that's a movie that they need to make a lot of money back on.
So you're thinking with all new movies, you'll have your exclusive theatrical window where you can pay to go see it, and then there's going to be a time where when it comes to Disney Plus, you have an exclusive window where you pay for it, and then a year from now, it's just there?
No, I'm thinking that if they don't have that theatrical window, that it's going to go to the streaming service, right? So Black Widow, if it doesn't arrive at the theater, it's going to be another one where you do that Disney premium, whatever. You can pay $30 for it, but there might be a movie like Soul that, probably would have done fine in theaters. But they were like, nope, it's just on Disney Plus. It's free. Like, it's whatever. But their movies, like their Marvel movies that they, spend a lot of money on in the first place, they're going to need to make that money back.
So you got me
quicker.
Thinking now that what if come May, when Widow's coming out again, that if things aren't well and it doesn't do as well as they thought it was going to do, that they will pull it, have it come on Disney Plus early with that premium, see how much they can recoup that way, and then do like a Mulan, and at this date everybody gets it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I think that for
we'll try it. It's not doing well. Okay, well, we'll try to make up our losses this way, and if we don't, well then here you go.
Yeah, like, I think it'll still be, if it becomes a premium thing. I think Mulan was 3 months. It was, or like 2.5 months or whatever.
Yeah, it was like September until December.
Yeah,
something like that.
And I think that's, if this theater thing turns out to be a long-term situation, or the not being able to be in theaters, I think that will be the new normal. That you can either pay $30, get this movie, or wait 3 months and have it for free. And if the theaters are open, you can go there too. And, for 2 people, you'll still spend $30. You'll get that extra experience and whatever.
The theaters will recoup some, like 60% of the gate anyway.
Exactly. And, it's up to you, but, I would say more people are going to just, if they really, really, really want to see that movie, they'll spend the $30. if there's 2 or 3 of you there, that's cheaper than going to the movies. BYO popcorn, and like you're set. So I think that could be the new normal, but it's really going to depend on how quickly theaters open up again. And again, once people get used to that model, that's what Disney will just do. It's like it's a new way to consume new movies now. Is if you want to see it, you watch it at home. 3 months later, you can watch it for free. But if you want to watch it in the first 3 months, then you got to pay for it.
Oh, you're paying for it.
Oh, you're paying for it.
Like that's we paid for it with Wonder Woman 1984. So consensus is don't do it.
Don't watch it. Or if you're gonna watch it at like 2x speed. at least 1.5x. It's so bad.
And like, what makes it worse is that I was going in not expecting anything.
Yes,
I know.
We knew it was gonna be bad. We just didn't know it was gonna be.
So I was gonna be like pleasantly surprised. Like when I went to see Crank, I'm like, Crank is gonna be a shitty movie, but then I enjoyed myself. Snakes on a Plane, I'm like, this is gonna be terrible, but it was delightful.
Yeah, like it can be
stupid.
It can be bad, but enjoyable.
Yeah,
like there's lots of ways for like movies to be bad, like bad storytelling, bad acting, bad music, bad everything, but it can still be a fun movie because it's like the movie was terrible, but it had some funny jokes in it, or it had some good music, or
like a Joe Dirt.
Yeah. Or like Venom was terrible, but Hardy was fantastic. Yeah. So like you can only imagine how terrible it would have been if he wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, it's like one of those like Venom is bad, but I can see what they were trying to do with it, and
it's still bad, but there's something.
Like it's not for us; it's for kids. This is not for nobody. Really for kids. Yeah, it's like I told you, there's a good Twilight Zone episode in there.
Yes, this is definitely a very good TV show. Terrible movie.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's it. That's all. Yeah,
it is bad. So don't watch it, and if you must, well,
have your phone with you.
Keep it entertained during the downtime. It's very much to me. It came across as this should have been the first movie, and then they could have improved upon it.
Yeah, this was definitely a step back from the first one.
If I had to say, this is Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Like the first one, you see it, you're like, okay. You watch it again, no, this is bad. And then this one comes out, and you're like, what the hell were they doing?
Why did they do this?
Like you took the characters, you made them worse.
Which is like, it's not hard, or it's not easy to do that, and they succeeded, and then they succeeded again with Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
like to do it once, like that's tough, but to do it twice.
That's a paddling.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 84. That's a paddling.
Fool us twice, strike 3.
That's right. All right. I think the next time we do this, we should talk about season 2 Mandalorian.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there was nothing bad about any of that.
Yeah.
for 8 episodes.
Yeah.
That is like, no, I would say it's like 8 hours, but most of the episodes are like half an hour. So there's probably a good 3 hours in there.
You know what? I feel like I could watch season 2 of Mandalorian and it would feel like the same amount of time as watching Wonder Woman.
But it'll go by faster.
Yeah, like that 4.5 to 5 hours of Mandalorian I could watch, and it would like the 2.5 hours of Wonder Woman felt like 8. So
at least 8.
Yeah. Ugh.
Wonder Woman 84 is like watching Iron Fist
the whole season, and then watching the second one because it's better than the first.
Yeah,
low bar.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 is like season 1 and 2 of Iron Fist, but the Max Lord is the season 2 part of Iron Fist. So it's like it's slightly better, but
Slightly
overall, this is a waste of my time.
Absolutely.
And with that, we wrap this 2-hour podcast. Though I'm pretty sure the first half hour is just glitching out. Like a mother.
We should be able to cut this down by at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. The Wonder Woman 84 edit.
Yeah.
We'll take out
sorry, just to before we finish off, that was another one of the things that someone said was basically it was like this seemed like the director's cut, where the regular movie was like an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes long, but they had to they left a lot of stuff on the cutting floor, and then when you got the DVD, they were like, oh yeah, there's some extended scenes that can maybe fill in some holes and stuff like that. And this would have been that. It would have been the extended cut.
Yeah, that is 100% true, because I heard there were 2 scenes. I know one was the first one, I think the Wonder Woman games. And I don't know what the second one was, but that Patty Jenkins fought hard to keep in the movie. So this I think is 100% her director's cut.
The director's extended cut.
Yeah, the definitive edition.
Yeah.
But she didn't do what Coppola did with Godfather 3, which is redo the whole thing to make it good. She just added shit to make it more convoluted and confusing and unnecessary.
Exactly.
All right. 2 hours done. For Michelle, this is Corey, reminding you all to keep it casual.